Hi friends, how are you? By blessings of the God, you are doing well. Once again, I am welcoming to all of you to Dr. A B JENA classes. And today we are going to discuss the very interesting topic, which is related to the financial management. And today's topic will be what is the basic difference between the fixed capital and the working capital. Okay, so without delay, we will start our discussion. And this is the very vital, not only to the 12th standard students, but also it will be also very useful to the UG and PG students, so far as that is the PMR, commerce and management subjects are concerned. Okay, so dear friends, so before discussion, kindly you take the screen. Okay, so kindly you take the screenshot. So by taking into the 10 basis of a comparison, easily we can distinguish between the fixed capital and the working capital. Yes, and so I will have the request to all of you. I have already posted 2 separate videos with regard to the working capital. The meaning of capital, meaning of a fixed capital, working capital, concept of working capital, the necessity or the need or the significance of working capital. Okay, and as well as the factors affecting the working capital. Okay, dear friends, without delay, we will start our discussion. So first one is that is the basis of comparison is the meaning. What is the meaning of fixed capital? The fixed capital, the amount which is invested, amount or the fund or the finance which is invested into AFA, means the fixed assets or the long term. AFA stands for long term project, in order to enhance or to increase the earning capacity of the business. That is the main motto or objectives of the business. That is the earning capacity, enhancement of earning capacity. Okay, come to the right hand side, the working capital. What is the meaning of working capital? So working capital refers to the gross working capital. Again, I am repeating what is the meaning of gross working capital. Gross working capital is equal to total current assets. Okay, dear friends. So in mathematical equation, so gross working capital is equal to what is this? Total current assets. Yes. So gross working capital is equal to what is this? Total current assets. CA stands for current assets, and which represents the amount of funds which is invested into current assets. I am hopeful, dear friends, you are clear. So gross working capital is equal to what is this? Total current assets. Just you see the balance sheet. Okay, in balance sheet you will find the 2 types of assets: fixed assets and the current assets. All total current assets are known as or treated as the gross working capital. Come to the second one, what is the time period of fixed capital and what is the time period of working capital. So fixed capital time, okay, so far as that is the time period, the fixed capital is the long term investment. It's more than 1 year. So it's more than 1 year, it may be 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years or 30 years, like this. Whereas the working capital is the short term investments. So usually it's for the investment into current assets. It's in 1 year. Okay. So next one, what are the basic nature of the fixed capital? So fixed capital is invested in business almost permanently. You cannot change it. Okay. You cannot change it. So that's why that is the in fixed assets is invested in business almost permanently, whereas the working capital is the circulating capital or it's changeable. You can also enhance or you can that is the increase or decrease the amount of the working capital. So that's why the working capital is the that is the circulating capital, or you can also change it. Okay, dear friends, come to the fourth one, basis of comparison. That is what is the use of fixed capital and what is the use of working capital. Yes, fixed capital is used to start the business. So you must need the fixed capital to start your business, as well as to purchase the fixed assets. What are the examples of fixed assets? The land, building, furniture, fixture, equipment, tools, etc. So these are the examples of a fixed asset. So the fixed capital is used to start the business as well as to purchase the fixed assets. I mean the land, you will purchase the land, building, furniture, equipment. So these are very vital. Okay, for the production. And the working capital is used to purchase what is this? That is the raw materials. So raw material is the most for the production. Yes. Then the payment of wages to the labor and other operating expenses. I mean the salary, fees, rent, taxes, etc. Repairs, maintenance purposes, etc. Okay. So next one basis of comparison means from where you will get the fixed capital and from where you will get the working capital. So it's the sources of finance. The sources of fixed capital are selling of shares. You will sell the shares, both the equity share and the preference shares, and the debentures, the bonds and other LP means the long-term financial instruments. Okay, so I am requesting to all of you, I have already posted the separate video, what is financial instruments, what are the different types of shares, and the difference between the preference shares and the equity shares, and what are the different types of debentures, and what is the basic difference between the shares and the debentures. Okay, then the sources of working capital, it's the short-term loan, which is normally taken for usually 1 year, then the public deposits, then the trade credit, etc. So these are the sources for the working capital. So next one, basis of comparison is that is what is the objectives of the investor. Let's take an example. You are all the investors. So what would be your objectives? If you will put your money in fixed capital, or you will put your money in working capital. Okay, or you will keep your money in fixed capital and you will keep your money in working capital. So what would be your objective? So the investor objectives are to invest the money in fixed capital to get more return or more profit as compared to the working capital. So here the return is more in the case of a fixed capital as compared to the working capital. So in working capital, the investor's objectives are to invest money in working capital to get the immediate return. So you will not wait for more time. Next one, basis of comparison, it's the risk. Okay, investment into fixed assets or fixed capital carries the more risk as compared to the working capital. So investment into working capital carries the less or the low risk. I mean the fixed capital, the investment into fixed capital, it's the high risk, whereas the investment into the working capital, it is the less or the lower risk. So next one is that is the basis of comparison, liquidity. Fixed capital is not all liquidity. So all the investment into or the fixed capital, so all are not liquid. Whereas in working capital, working capital is very much liquid. Next one, basis of comparison, is the conversion. Fixed capital cannot be converted into cash or kind immediately. Yes, so again I am repeating, the fixed capital cannot be converted into cash or kind immediately, whereas working capital can be converted into cash or kind immediately. Yes, last but not the least, the basis of comparison is the types of assets acquired. Okay, fixed cost is used to acquire or procure the fixed assets. What are fixed assets? So these are the land, building, furniture, equipment, etc. So in working capital is used to acquire or procure the current assets, just like so the raw materials, some debtors, then the short-term investment like this. Yes. Once again I am repeating, types of assets acquired. The fixed cost is used to acquire or procure the fixed assets, whereas the working capital is used to acquire or procure the current assets. So these are all about today's discussion. If you like it, kindly you subscribe it, kindly you forward it, kindly you share it. Also I am waiting your valuable comments, I am requesting to all of you, kindly give or kindly drop your valuable idea, suggestion, comment in the comment section. I am hopeful that in conceptually now we are clear what is the basic difference between fixed cost and the fixed capital and the working capital. So once again, thanks a lot to all of you.